Ever since the massive protest gained momentum in Iran, US President Donald Trump has had a clear message. Killing of protesters will have consequences. Now he says the killing has stopped. But does that mean a pause on any American plans to target the Iranian government? Well, Trump said that he was informed on good authority that there would be no more deaths or executions of protesters. But he also added that he would be very upset if this proved not to be the case.
We've been told that the killing in Iran is stopping, and it's stopping. And there's no plan for executions or executions. So I've been told that on good authority. We'll find out about it. I'm sure if it happens, we'll all be very upset, including you will be very upset. But that's just gotten to me, some information that the killing has stopped, that the executions have stopped.
When asked about the decision on a military action against Tehran, Trump said that he is going to watch and see. Trump's latest comments were accompanied by reports that the U.S. has withdrawn some personnel from American military bases in the West Asia, including the Al Udeid base in Qatar. Now, some British personnel are being pulled from the base, and Iran has targeted this base in June in retaliation for U.S. strikes on its nuclear facilities. In Iraq, a news agency reported complete withdrawal of American troops from the Al-Assad base. One of the diplomats cited in reports described these moves as a change of posture rather than an ordered evacuation. U.S. media outlet News Nation has reported that battleship USS Abraham Lincoln and its carrier strike group is being moved from the South China Sea to the West Asia region. The deployment is expected to take nearly 1 week. Meanwhile, USS Abraham Lincoln is the 5th Nimitz-class aircraft carrier and the 3rd named after the former president. It is capable of carrying 90 of the U.S. Navy's most advanced fighters, electronic attack aircraft, helicopters, and unmanned aerial vehicles. It can recover and launch various short takeoff and vertical landing aircraft flown by the United States Marine Corps. Weapons on board warship include surface-to-air missile launchers, short-range surface-to-air missile launchers, and close-in weapon systems. It accommodates more than 5,000 crew members. The carrier can reach the maximum speed of around 30 knots and has a displacement of 97,000 tons. It also features a mammoth flight deck occupying approximately 2 hectares. It is propelled by 2 nuclear reactors powering 4 steam turbines. The carrier group's arrival will boost the capability of U.S. Central Command. The U.S. CENTCOM is responsible for operations in West, Central, and South Asia. Its area of responsibility spans more than 4 million square miles and 21 nations. Now, the geography of the region consists of the intersection of 3 continents and involves key routes. A report citing 2 European officials said that a U.S. military intervention could come soon. The report also cited an Israeli official who said that Trump has apparently decided to intervene, though the scope and timing remained unclear. However, it has to be noted that the report came after Trump's latest comments. And for more on this, we're now being joined live on the broadcast by Dr. Wael Awad. He's a senior international journalist and political analyst, former president, FCC South Asia. Thank you so much, Dr. Awad, for joining us on the broadcast.
Thank you for having me. I'm currently the president, but it has nothing to do with the president of the FCC. Noted, the personal views.
Noted, Dr. Awad. Now, Trump said that he had been told on good authority that Iran had ceased killing protesters and that planned executions would not take place, but he did not provide details and added that the U.S. will watch and see before deciding on military action. Now, does this signal a strategic retreat or rather a tactical pause on Washington's part here?
Well, I think it's unpredictable. Anything from President Trump can happen because last time when he decided that there will be no attack in Iran and they were having discussion and even when the mediation was taking place by the Qataris and the Omanis. Then suddenly we saw the onslaught last year with Iran by the American and the Israelis. So anything can happen. But however, having said that, I think the American administration, as well as Tel Aviv, have already reached to a conclusion that the current scenario in Iran cannot topple the regime at any cost because they have been able to contain the demonstration. They are able to address the grievance of the people, and they were able also to capture many of the cells that the Mossad have already activated, and they have been killing the officers in Iran, and they have shown to the world these people, and they're going to be, executed or they will be taken into trial. So the American understood that this is not like what the Prime Minister Netanyahu have told last year to President Trump, that the attack on Iran will bring the regime down. So therefore, the second attack this time will be more catastrophe for the United States if we consider that the American bases are very close and more than 70,000 American Marines are stationed in the GCC.
Right, Dr. Awadhan, having said that, we now know that the USS Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group is being redirected towards the US Central Command area amid the crisis, a show of force in the region that takes days to position. Now, analysts have suggested that this could be in preparation for a sustained operation rather than a quick, limited strike. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. You are right, because the American actually they are planning the Iran attack on Iran is part of the Israeli project to destroy all the Arab countries in West Asia, disintegrate them and break them up, like they are doing in Syria and Lebanon. In Iraq, they will dismantle, and also the weapon from the Popular Front that have attacked and been sided with the government of Iraq against Daesh and the Al-Qaeda. Now they don't want this weapon to be pointed at Israel. Therefore, Iran fall in that category. And remember that Iran, not the nuclear issue, nor the issues of the demonstration, because these demonstrations are legitimate for the Iranian because of the grievance, because of the economic situation that's taking place there, the government trying to address, but it is not turned into a political motives that it can topple the regime. Therefore, the American will continue the pressure as long as the Prime Minister of Israel give the instruction to America that they have to destroy the infrastructure of the ballistic missile technology. They kill all the scientists and they will destroy the nuclear program, the civil nuclear program of Iran. And that is only the time of achieving of disintegrating Iran, as per the Israelis media saying that they wanted Iran to be 5 states breaking up. So therefore, Iranian understood the game plan. The American also knows that it is a civilization that you cannot destroy. Iran is not a small country like Iraq. They can do a replica. They did the same thing in Iraq. But I think it will take time for the American administration to change this regime, or at least contain it in such a manner that it can succumb to the pressure and come to the American. Because you know that President Trump, after he took over first tenure, he immediately revoked the nuclear deal signed by P5+1, and where American were the main stakeholder, and in fact took them 2.5 years of negotiation till they signed that agreement. But he revoked it, and he applied the maximum pressure on Iran, and they put him under unilateral American sanction. So therefore, the reflection of the street of Iran is nothing but because of the pressure applied by those sanctions on the Iranian. And definitely the government is trying to address it to the maximum, that nobody can take advantage of a legitimate demand of the people of Iran.
Right, we hear you, Dr. Awad. Now, Trump has publicly supported the Iranian protest and has even told demonstrators that help is on the way, while facing scrutiny over how US actions fit with the broader geopolitical, economic and also strategic interests. Now, is Washington's posture towards Iran primarily about defending human rights and supporting protesters, or would you say that it is also in some part driven by the broader US strategic and economic interest in the Middle East?
I fully agree with you with the second part of your question, and that's the answer. Actually, it is, look, when they went to Venezuela, they removed the president and his wife, hijacked him and attacked the government there, but they kept the structure intact. But actually, behind the scene, it is against the Chinese and the Russian who have the influence in that part of the world. It's similar also. They are attacking any country who is doing the de-dollarization. They did it in Iraq, they did it in Venezuela, they are going to do it in Iran, and they wanted also to destabilize the BRICS groups, where they are already talking of the barters and dealing without the American dollars. And therefore, America's objective is, in a wider perspective, is meant for a conflict of interest between the superpower. So Iran is geopolitically very important for all the countries involved. Name it India, China, Russia, United States, because the north-south corridors, the closeness of the to the Black Sea, the closeness of the Strait of Hormuz, where 14% of the world trade in oil passes from there. So India, 60% of its oil comes from that part of the world. China, Japan, Korea. So the American now wanted even this to be closed. They wanted to burn this part of the world, West Asia. So you will be tapping They will tap all the oil supply to all those countries where they are competing with the Americans. So America is thousands of miles away. Who will be suffering, actually? It is the Arab countries, it is the GCC, it is the people who are importing the oil from this part of the world. And I think the Americans understand that this game plan of making America great does not come only by finding more a zone area, I mean a war zone area to sell the Arab industry. I think the world is more opening their eyes to a more of a multipolar world and no more only the American. American cannot be above the international law by any cost.
Absolutely, Dr. Abbas, some very valid points there. And also we know that it's been widely criticized that the playbook is also changing as we move forward. But of course, we'll have to wait and see how the situation develops in Iran. And for now, thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast and sharing your valuable perspective with us.
Thank you.